Hey guys, it's Elias. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be talking about the Honda Prelude, the Project Prelude, otherwise known as budget racing. Now, in case you're new here, let me offer you a little refresher on what budget racing is all about. See, I'm going to take this, my 1997 Honda Prelude, I'm going to build it into a hill climbing race car. In order to do that, there's a number of things I have to do, one of which is installing this roll bar. So since this is the main thing I want to get done today, let's go ahead and open this up. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Autopower bolt-in roll bar for the Honda Prelude and how it comes. In the shipping package, it said it will be nicked up here and there, as you can see, from shipping. They said it's up to me to go ahead and paint it, and I don't think that's a big deal at all. I'll go ahead and put some Rust-Oleum on there, some black paint, and it'll be good as new. But this is what it'll look like. The harness will be going on this bar right here. This is where the harness will go, a 5 or 6 point harness. I haven't decided yet. I'll probably go with a 6-point harness, and it'll bolt in right there, right there, right there, and right there. So after you get your roll bar, the very first step is to take your front seats out. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. I'm using a 14mm. It fits right in. I'm being pretty lazy because I have my impact wrench and my little fiddly thing that makes everything pretty easy. Just gonna snap and go. Fun facts, these are actually the Honda Prelude Type S seats. So you'll see Prelude embroidered here. It's leather and suede. These are only from the Japanese Prelude Type S, which is very fitting because this has a Type S engine. So I got the Type S seats, and you'll notice that in the passenger side we have lumbar support. We have the, I don't know, we call it a lumbar support, or the seat itself kind of moves around. Because in Japan, this is actually the driver's seat, and the passenger seats on that side, I already took it out. These are the back bolts. Another fun fact is that I haven't taken these seats out in like 10 years. And it's actually pretty clean. Fairly clean. Not too bad. The dash piece I took off to diagnose some things there. More on that on another video. Take a look at the driver's side. It's much dirtier there, but not too bad. We're gonna vacuum it up. Clean all this junk out. These are the brake pads for the car. So I've cleared out the back, and with this key I could actually open up this whole back seat and get access to the trunk. Let me show you. So whenever you're building a car for racing like I am, it's very important to make note of and make sure that you're aiming for the correct class that you want. For example, I'm aiming at the SCCA Sports Car Club of America, Street Prepared D class. And if you go to their website, there's a bunch of classifications. They classify different cars under different classes, and then you could do certain things for each class. If I start, for example, taking every piece of trim off my interior, I'll end up in Street Modified. And Street Modified cars, you can put turbos in them, you could put different engines in them. It's a class that I don't want to be in, so I want to make sure I stay in Street Prepared. And in Street Prepared class, I am not allowed to remove any trim pieces that don't interfere with the roll bar and that don't interfere with me removing the spare tire. So I can basically take off all the trunk carpeting because it's all held in basically by the spare tire and the nut. And anything that interferes with the roll bar, I can go ahead and chop off or cut off or whatever I have to do in order to fit the roll bar for safety reasons. But everything else has to stay if I'm going to stay in my class. So this is why I have to be very careful with what I remove. I don't want to be moved into the Street Modified class. Definitely a little winded. It was a struggle to get this thing in here by itself and by myself. I don't have another set of hands right now. I'm gonna get the little bars and we'll see exactly where this puppy goes. So I've removed that back portion really easy. It's just these screws right here, right there. To remove the bottom, there's little clips down here. This one's broken. Somebody broke it a long time ago, who knows. There's another one over there. What you do is just pull it out, put it in, or pull it out. And then you can just lift the seat. Now the last time these seats were out actually was about 10 years ago. I had a horn installed and they had to run some wires. I don't know what these wires are for though. Kind of curious. Oh, they lead to nowhere. I guess I'll get them out. That's interesting. Oh, that's the probably an alarm system or something. I don't know. I'll cut them out. Anyway, now that this is out, I've got to take the plastic pieces off. Look at all this little change here. It's basically stuck in there. Look at that. So as we can see, everything's pretty much lined up. However, we see some gaps down here, and that's because one of these things is right under this, so I'm gonna have to hammer this down. Now the instructions say that you leave it like this, drill the holes and tighten everything up and it'll be okay, but I don't really like the way this is kind of hanging there, so I'm gonna hammer this little notch from under here, and I'm going to spray paint it so it doesn't rust, and then I'll go ahead and finish the install. So this next part is not really for the faint of heart. I'm going to be hammering the metal on my Prelude with a hammer, Jeremy Clarkson style. after you lined everything up, the next step of course is to mark where you're gonna put your holes. I love using whiteout to mark these things, so that's what I'm using. So as you can see, I did mark them. I thought I was gonna take the cage out before I drilled, but actually I think it's better to leave it in and just use the cage itself as a guide to make the holes. Yeah, that seems to be it. Let's start with the easiest one, and then we'll work our way around. So I'm going to take this plate, I'll put it under here, and these are my bolts that go right through here. I'm just going to put them in here for now, just to kind of help me guide things under there. Let's see what's up. Let's get under the car. And this is the mounting plate. It is up to specification. It is the required thickness. My job is to kind of thread the needles here. It would help if I do it the right way. As you can see, it's a little bit of, there's a little bit of play in there. According to the instructions, just tighten everything down and everything should be okay. Operation here. So what I'm going to do now is, before I tighten these things down, I'm going to spray some undercoating, Krylon undercoating right above here, just to try to get as much protection in there. I mean, there's probably better ways to do this, but this is what I'm gonna do. Again, just to prevent any possible future horrible rust that could happen here. I'm gonna spray it now, I'll tighten it down, I'll spray it again, and then that should be good. So let's go ahead and spray this. I've shaken this already. I'm not really going for pretty here, I'm just going for protection. So I've already kind of installed the bottom two. It's always a good sign when you install the bottom two and the painted areas completely line up to the holes. That's actually a very good sign, so it means I'm doing something right. Let's go ahead and make these holes. We're in the home stretch here. Gotta drill these back ones and we'll be all set. It's a lot of steel here. Hopefully I don't have too much trouble getting through them. Yep. Getting there.
2,000 years later.
So for this part, I'm going to need a 15mm on this thing and a 15mm impact, so I can get one on the top and one on the bottom. As we can see here, the roll bar has been mounted. It looks great. Take a look. Oh yeah. And I painted all of the surfaces. Now all that's left is putting back the interior. Cue the montage. Let it be known, I'm even putting in this piece of plastic that does nothing except to cover these little wires back here. I'm adhering to the rules of the class. Here we go. I've maintained the functionality of my back seats. If somebody wants to climb in here with this roll bar, they can still do it, and they could even use the seat belts. Look at that. Made sure the seat belts work too, just in case. There we go, boys and girls. All set, all done. The roll bar is in the car. I am now legal to go ahead and run some hill climbs. There are a few things I do have to finish up. I have to install a fire extinguisher. I will do that as soon as I get it. And I have to install a 6 or 5 point harness, which I will be getting very soon as well. And after that, there's a couple of reliability things I got to take care of in the engine bay. And then we'll be able to do some hill climbs. So I'm very excited. There's a huge step forward for budget racing. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. There wasn't any videos online of how to install a roll bar on a Prelude. So here's one of them right now. Thanks for watching again. I'll catch you next time. Peace out.